glucosamine products on the market to help us and our joints. We're buying, in many respects, an inferior form of glucosamine, and we don't even know it.
Well, not just inferior, just plain and simply the wrong form.
Wow.
And the one thing I have to caution everyone on glucosamine chondroitin, this was supposed to be a Today Special this month.
Right.
But because the forms of glucosamine and chondroitin we use are so unique and appropriate and scientifically established, they're sometimes very difficult for us to get. So we weren't able to make enough for today's special. So instead, it's a monthly special. We're just going to mention a couple of times this weekend, and maybe one time this weekend and next weekend, and that's it. So, we're kind of hiding it a little bit only because we don't have an enormous supply of it. But what I did do is, despite it not being a Today Special, that's the Today Special price.
Oh, good.
So you're getting the Today Special price, even though it's not a Today Special. I figured, why penalize you, because I didn't have enough material. So we don't have enough for it to be a Today Special. But this is an example of how a product, you know, a lot of vitamin companies would like to say, they're all the same, so buy mine, it might be less expensive, whatever it is.
Right.
But they're not all the same. The majority of glucosamine products you see on the market are glucosamine sulfate. The majority of chondroitin products you see on the market are sodium chondroitin. Two important things to know. Glucosamine, the majority of the products on the market of glucosamine are glucosamine hydrochloride, the wrong form. The proper form is the minority of the market. I would say that less than a quarter of the products on the market use glucosamine sulfate. And glucosamine sulfate is the scientifically established form, the form that's beneficial. Glucosamine hydrochloride is not beneficial. Even pet products, almost all the pet products I see are glucosamine hydrochloride.
Right.
They need to be glucosamine sulfate. The original research on glucosamine was animal research.
Wow.
And animal research using glucosamine sulfate. So it needs to be glucosamine sulfate. Sadly, the substantial majority of products are glucosamine hydrochloride. Not scientifically established. In fact, I have quotes from the science that say exactly the opposite, that you shouldn't use it. It isn't established, but nevertheless, because it's less expensive, that's what you find in most products. And then on the chondroitin side, most of us are trying to reduce our sodium intake.
Right.
My blood pressure is normal and healthy, but I still watch my sodium intake. We get too much sodium regardless. Even if we don't have high blood pressure, we consume far more sodium than we should in a normal world. It's just that it's present in so many foods that we eat. But unfortunately, typical chondroitin sulfate or typical chondroitin is a sodium salt. Ours is a calcium salt. So you get a mineral you want. You're going to get a mineral regardless. Why not get an appropriate mineral that you want rather than sodium? And that's the reason our calcium chondroitin sulfate is very difficult to get, and that's the only reason why we don't have enough for today's special today.
Well, just to echo what Andrew says there, because there's not going to be a Today Special, what we have is what we have, but the pricing is if it were a Today Special. So here are the options. We have the 60 caps, which is typically a nice try-me size, as the 120, the 240, or the 480. To give you an example, the 480 is your best savings, because normally that would be $204. Today it's $89.90, and it's on 3 flex pay, and that saves you $114. So you're saving more than you're spending. So if you need to restock on the glucosamine and chondroitin, tonight's your night. Andrew, without sounding naive, when we talk about the other options...
It's okay if you sound naive.
I can't help it.
We're all allowed to. I often do.
But it's shocking to me, because are we saying that other companies use that lesser form because it's cheaper?
Are we saying that other companies knowingly use an inferior form? Yes.
Simple as that.
I would say it's simply that they're ignorant, which why would you want to buy a supplement from a company that's ignorant? Or that they knowingly have chosen, despite, and I'll find some quotes right here that talk about the fact that the only choice for glucosamine is glucosamine sulfate. That as long as there's all that science out there that's compelling a decision for me to make a product, it's compelling you to make a decision to use that product, how in the world do companies decide to ignore that research and use glucosamine hydrochloride? And again, it's not like a few of them do it. That I'd say that 75% of the products on the market, maybe more, are glucosamine hydrochloride. The reason why? It's substantially less expensive. It's much cheaper. And that's why, because they can make a cheaper product that seems more appealing. And all of us, rightfully, we see glucosamine on the front of the label, we think, oh, that's what I'm supposed to get. But unless you read the fine print on the back of the label and see HCl instead of sulfate, You don't know. So that's unfortunate.
And as you've always said, in any product that you make, you always follow the science, you follow the facts. That's what determines the formulas and what you put out.
Absolutely. Well, I just happened to grab a chart and right on the top.
Case in point.
And here from a medical journal, the Journal of Family Practice, a combination of glucosamine and chondroitin should be considered viable first-line joint support nutrients. Be sure to tell patients, this is for doctors, be sure to tell patients to purchase glucosamine sulfate, not glucosamine hydrochloride. And the reason why is, and it goes on to say, is because glucosamine sulfate has been the subject, as we see here, of all the research, and glucosamine hydrochloride has not. In fact, glucosamine hydrochloride has been the subject of research that says it doesn't work as well as glucosamine sulfate, or at all.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Well, if you'd like to try it and give it a go, we certainly ask you, if you've been purchasing a glucosamine product from various destinations or big box stores, we encourage you to compare side by side. The results might be pretty shocking, right?
And well, and what you'll also find, all of my products are capsules, 100% pure, additive-free, easy to swallow, will never upset your stomach. You're not going to have anyone in the mass market or in the big box stores able to say that. And most people think, gosh, his products have to be multiple times more expensive than the others.
Right.
But we just talked about my Fibromucil product, and that was, I think, about 7 cents or so a capsule.
It was.
And here we are talking about the most sophisticated glucosamine chondroitin product out there in 480 capsules that ends up being less than 20 cents a capsule for the most sophisticated glucosamine sulfate that you're going to find and the most sophisticated calcium chondroitin sulfate that you're going to find.
There's so many regular customers that tune in for Andrew's visits, and there's so many new customers who join us every time as well. It's important to know that Andrew's career, his history, is all about doing things right. These come from Henderson, Nevada, solar-powered facility. Andrew, you put thought into every aspect.
Well, you need to, I was taught to be responsible. We manufacture products. We're in Nevada. There's plenty of sunshine there, so we don't need any electricity that comes from a power plant. Right. So everything we do is powered from the sun. Everything powered from the sun. And also, glucosamine and chondroitin, specifically in the hydrochloride form, when they're in rock hard tablets, they're not only hard to swallow, but they'll tend to be one of those supplements that will upset your stomach.
Okay.
What we do, not only is our form milder, but what we also do is we put it in a capsule. Everything's in a capsule, and it's dust. So it immediately goes into solution. So you don't have some rock hard tablet slowly disintegrating in HCl as hydrochloride or hydrochloric acid. You don't have something irritating the lining of your stomach. You don't want to make your joints feel better at the expense of your stomach.
Over the past 12 months, there's been a huge response to Andrew's acetyl L-carnitine for a number of reasons.